Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing Unexplained Places video on Mount Kailash. Kailash, Kailash. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but there we go. Before we get into it though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on social media, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. I like to think I write good stories that make you think. I wrote a 3-book science fiction western series called Drifters. I wrote a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. I've got 2 so far. I'm working on the 3rd. It's a science fiction, futuristic space warfare type thing. It's called the first one is Vanguard 1. The second one is Task Force Terminus. And I wrote a political fantasy called The Righteous President. Hope you get them. Hope you like them. All right, on with this one. There are places in the world that simply defy explanation. I've done videos on many such places. Go check them out. This particular one is on Mount Kailash. Kailash. Mount Kailash sits in the southwest corner of Tibet. The mountain is called Kailash Parvat, the Navel of the Earth, Axis Mundi, and the Stairway to Heaven. It has many names for many different reasons. It is said that Lord Shiva resides at Mount Kailash, and according to the locals, they fear it and stay away from it for that reason. There are 4 religions that claim a hold on Mount Kailash. There are 4 rivers that flow out of that mountain, north, south, east, and west. It looks the mountain kind of looks like a pyramid with 4 sides, and it appears to be symmetrically man-made. Each face has a different color. The number 4 is associated with this mountain, apparently. The Nazis of World War II scoured the area for clues to the legendary city of Shambhala, but they never climbed that mountain. Local legends say that Shambhala is under Mount Kailash, but nobody has ever climbed it or tried to find a way under it, as far as I know. There was one person who made it to the top. He was a religious man. I cannot remember who it was. Maybe I'll get to it later on. I think I wrote it down. I'm not sure. But apparently there's a monument up there, some sort of an ancient city. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, there are a number of oddities about this mountain that science thus far cannot explain. First off, no plant life grows on Mount Kailash. It is completely barren, which is it's not a huge mountain, so that's not normal. There should be something up there, trees or something. Weeds if nothing else. Mount Kailash lies, you're going to love this, its location is weird, 6,666 kilometers from the North Pole, 6,666 kilometers from the South Pole, and 6,666 kilometers from Stonehenge. That's why it's called the Navel of the Earth and the center of the world. The mountain is also 13,332 kilometers from base to peak. That's 6,666 kilometers times 2. Yeah, it's just weird. The southern slopes get more snow than the northern slopes, but the southern slopes also get more sunlight than the northern slopes. So that in and of itself is weird because it should get less. You see what I'm saying? There are magnetic anomalies all over the mountain which prevent compasses from working. Locals, as well as climbers, have reported time slips and other anomalies. One such hiker spent the day on the mountain and returned home 30 minutes before he left. It's crazy. A group of climbers disappeared without a trace. And again, if you've seen the mountain, it's not a big place. There's no trees or anything, so it should be easy to find them, but they just disappeared without a trace. Another group of climbers from Siberia, they were all young and fit men, set out to climb Mount Kailash. They returned after a few hours with hair and fingernails grown as if weeks had passed. Within a year, every one of those climbers had died of old age. They were young and fit when they went onto the mountain. They were there for a few hours. They came back. Nobody went back up on the mountain. But within a year, they'd all died of old age. That is documented. So I don't know what to tell you about that. That's just freaking weird. Climbers have reported so many anomalies on Mount Kailash that it's difficult to include them all. Climbers have been ascending steadily and found themselves descending the same way they came up, as if the mountain somehow shifted itself. They're going up and then finding themselves going back down without having turned. Climbers were forced down by sudden and unexplained blizzards and rainstorms. They go up with a good weather report, next thing you know, boom, the bad weather hits. Climbers had to abort their attempt when all members of their team experienced a sudden wave of illness. They all got sick the exact same way. I would imagine a electromagnetic anomaly could have accounted for that, but you never know. A group of climbers felt an irresistible urge not to ascend the mountain, and when they started their descent, the feeling went away. All of them simultaneously. To me, that's something like mental or emotional manipulation. It's crazy. Aircraft, even modern sophisticated machines, cannot fly over Mount Kailash. They can fly around it, they can get high enough to go over it, they just can't go over it. Something prevents them from gaining the necessary altitude to fly over the peak. When they try to, magnetic anomalies force them away. There are 2 lakes right there at Mount Kailash. These 2 lakes used to be one lake before tectonic activity split them into 2 different lakes. I'm going to try to get this right. Lake Mansarovar, 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 is the highest altitude freshwater lake in the world. The water is always calm regardless of the weather and is teeming with life. This lake never freezes, ever, no matter how bad the winters get. And it's the highest altitude freshwater lake in the world, and it never freezes. Strange lights are seen over this lake quite frequently, and nobody can explain them. It's crazy. The other lake is called Rakshas Tal, and is an extremely salty lake and has no life in it at all. The water is very turbulent all the time, regardless of the weather. This lake periodically vanishes, leaving parched ground. It then reappears at full volume as if it never vanished. The locals call this lake the Demon Lake or the Ghost Lake. The other one, I think they call it like the Holy Lake or something. So these 2 lakes are almost opposites. They're virtually opposite. In 1999, Dr. Ernst Moldeshev took a team of scientists to Mount Kailash and studied it extensively. They heard strange sounds emanating from within the mountain, which sometimes sounded like great stones being dropped from considerable heights. The sound suggested that someone or something was living inside. Moldeshev became convinced that Kailash was an ancient pyramid built by extraordinary humans with advanced technology. The schematic map of the city of the gods, which sits at the summit of the mount, here we go, is very similar to the spatial structure of DNA molecules. It's the resemblance is remarkable. There is a temple in Ellora, India, called the Temple of Kailash. It is a 3-story temple to Shiva and is the largest monolithic temple in the world. It is carved out of granite. It took 18 years to construct, according to archaeologists. The workers had to remove 400,000 tons of rock in 18 years. Which, 18 years sounds like a long time, but listen to this. That's 60 tons of rock per day, or 2.5 tons of rock every hour. And that's working round the clock. This is not counting the intricate and beautiful carvings in the walls or the extensive underground labyrinth that exists beneath the temple. Many people speculate that the builders of the mountain may have had a hand in building the temple. Who knows? The temple aside, Mount Kailash is certainly one of the most unexplained wonders of our world. It is, by definition, an unexplained place. And the fact that people die of old age when they go there, that it has, in fact, it has been documented, it has happened, that right there tells you there's something weird about that place. That's all I'm saying. Do your own research. If you find new information or different information, put it in the comments. I'm sure we'd all love to read it. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one now. God bless one and all. We elect cookie-cutter politicians every single election cycle. Yes men who maintain the status quo and do just enough to make us believe the system still works. Imagine, if you will, a president who actually tries to fix things. If you like action, political intrigue, and a righteous crusade, check out my political thriller, The Righteous President. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I welcome your comments even if you disagree with me.